Hey guys, this is Avrel, and I'm going to try to give you a quick lesson on a great song, classic song of all time, James Taylor's Something in the Way She Moves. This is, of course, off of his debut album, and was the song he actually performed for Paul and John as an audition for his first contract with Apple Records, 1968. And so this is how I play Something in the Way She Moves with one hand. Just as a reminder, I lost my right hand to a stroke about 3 years ago, and so I've been learning this new kind of hammering on and flicking and pulling off technique since then. So just starting with the intro, it's in the little bit of housekeeping first. I'm in standard tuning, and James wrote the song in key of C, so if you want to play along with the record, you got a capo at 3, and but for vocal reasons, I moved it down and just playing it in standard tuning it open. So when I talk about an A, I'm actually on the record. He's doing the same thing capoed, but he's doing it up here, so it'll sound as a C on the record. So song goes through, it's interesting chord changes that he does, but it's in the key of A. So I start by plucking that open A and hammering on the D string and on the B string, that fifth and that third. So, and then I'm going to hammer on here and go to that look. That's kind of that suspension. And then I'm going to pluck that open. You got to be real precise and leave that G string open, because you want that G to sound against the F sharp. That's what gives it that chord, that beautiful ringing sound of one note, one half step from the other one. So. And then if you're careful about it, you can hammer on that F sharp again when all that G is still ringing, and it gives it that nice articulation. Hear that? When I can. And it took me a long time to practice that because I was always, if you're not real precise in your finger placement, you're going to deaden that G string, and I'm plucking that. As you see, I'm plucking that G string with my index finger, which is the one that I'm not using at that time. So using it there, and then up. Plucking that open G with the index finger, and then hammering on with my third finger again. But I do it just real lightly, just to try to get that last quarter note back in there. And then starting with the first line, something in the way. It goes to an E minor there, so it's the minor 5 of the chord changes. So A major, something in the way, and it's like I did before. I'm plucking that open G with my index finger to make that chord minor sound minor, because that's the essential thing that's making that chord change right. If not, if you just go something in the way she moves, then you're not getting the special sauce of that minor note right there, which is what makes this song different and special. Something in the way she moves. And the chord changes are coming kind of fast through here, so you kind of got to get back where you can pluck those bass notes, and then hammering on the 5 and the 1 above, and plucking. So real slow. Something in the way she moves. You'll see that A coming back in. I'm plugging that A with my middle finger. And then right back to the E minor. Looks my way. Now I'm gonna pluck the D string with my third finger, because it was the nearest finger. So I'm just gonna, that's what's available, you know. Something in the way she moves looks my way. And then after that D is ringing, then you go into the full D shape here. And I do. So sometimes I miss. And that's a common kind of, I'm plugging the D, I'm actually flicking the open D now, but something in the way she moves looks my way and calls, and then I just hammer on that G with everything I've got all at once, because I don't have time to do anything else. Looks my way, calls my name. Now I'm going to talk about this for a little bit. All this ornamentation that James does is, you know, that's all a product of the right hand, of finger picking the 16th notes with his right hand. So all those gorgeous suspensions and diminished chords that he does all the time, I'm just faking that by playing the most audible note. So in the case of the A suspension, it's not really suspension. It's you hear all that? To me, the words are, and then just hammering on up the scale here. Oh, nice the way they, sorry, the way they sound. Now this took me a long time to work this out, but this is that D, and then I'm hammering on, pulling off, hammering on, and plucking the adjacent string back, hammering on here, and then plucking the open D, and then the same concept here, hammering on, pulling off, and hammering on the next string down. If I'm feeling down and blue, or troubled by some foolish game, she always seems to make me change my mind. Okay, and now we go into the chorus. It's still in A, and I feel fine anytime. So here's that. See him open, plucking open the A, hitting that 5 note, that E with the first finger, and then, so you might just kind of, just like I was doing the D before, the same way. So you're oscillating there between this double stop 5 note below it while that open bass note is ringing. So chorus, and I feel fine anytime. Now again, back to that E, wake up my screen, back up to that E, and then plucking that, remember plucking that open G to get the minor sound. I feel fine anytime. D, plucking the D again with the ring finger, and spelling that out up the scale there. She's around me now. She's around me now. Now that's that F sharp. So you're going into the minor, the relative minor here, and that playing the F sharp. We just See that? Lighting is not real great here. And then I slide into that, what is that, C sharp, slide into that C sharp and pull off to get into the B minor shape right there. See, she's around me now. Almost all the time. So you see the B, I'm into this B minor triad, and then I'm gonna do what I call the flick, which is I'm gonna hit that, I'm gonna flick, I'm gonna hit with the index finger, I'm pushing that B, the low E string to get it to sound, and then get into an regular E major, and then back to the B minor. So you just practice moving back and forth between those two, B minor, E. And if I'm well, just plucking an A, then you can tell that she's been with me now. She's been with me now quite a long, long time. Yes, and I feel fine. Okay, now we're getting to the bridge. In the bridge, he changes keys. He walks up into D major. So we're right here, and then he's just going to walk up. Plugging the D every now and then. And now we're going to go into this little pattern, and we're going to wind up doing this about 3 times. That's that D suspension with a C in the bass. And then the B. So you're just doing a couple, you're going between the regular D shape and then the little suspension on the D. But in the bass, this is really a G chord, but I'm doing a B in the bass. So you can see what I'm doing here now. It's kind of a lot of repetition. Every now and then, the things I lean on lose their meaning, and I find myself careening in places where I should not let me go. Now I'm gonna go to the E minor. And then I do this little walk up with double stops. The B in the double stop, B minor double stop, and the the C sharp with the B string fretted up here, hammered on. And then back to plucking the open D. She has the power to go when no one else can find me. Yes, and silently remind me of the happiness and the good times that I know. Now we're going to go to B minor, to E major. But I guess I just had to know it. Now we're all set up to go back into A major for the last verse. It isn't what she's got to say, but how she thinks and where she's been. To me, the words are nice, the way they sound. I like to hear them best that way. It doesn't much matter what they mean. She says them mostly just to calm me down. I feel fine anytime she's around me now. She's around me now, almost all the time. And if I'm well, then you can tell she's been with me now. She's been with me now. What a long, long time. Yes, and I feel fine. All right, thank you, James Taylor, for writing such a beautiful song. If you're rocking it with one hand, keep rocking. Appreciate you watching. Thanks.